And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us tonight, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than the legendary and iconic
Gosh.
playwright, producer, just talent, a gift, and an angel to the world, none other than Sister Margaret Mahdi. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam, Brother Joshua.
And how are you and the family doing?
We are well, and how are you and yours?
Man, we're phenomenal, and everyone is very excited about this because right now, all over the world, social media,
Yes.
for primarily out of those five boroughs, out of New York, out of Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, everybody, it's a murmuring, it's something going on saying that there is a big production coming to the Apollo Theater. Can you
All
let us
praises
know
due to Allah.
when is it coming, what's coming, and how it came about?
Yes, sir. Well, Brother Joshua, first I have to say this. We give all praise to Allah and for allowing us this opportunity and He giving you an assignment to be a legendary historian, um, spokesperson, and carrying the history of all of us, our parents, the minister's family, legendary believers who have laid a brick. So do know that this is an honor whenever any of us is on your platform. So we thank you, Brother Joshua, and your parents for shaping you in their wombs, their mind and your mom's womb, and for producing a soldier as you are. So this is an honor, and I'm praying to grow into all of that wonderful stuff you said. So, but yes, sir, I am a playwright, a director, and a producer. And I love plays. I've been inspired to write plays from 5 years old, studying
Mm,
Black musicals. But I
mm,
was very blessed to learn from Sister Winifred Rasulullah, MGT. She took me under her wings when she was in her early 30s, and I was a teenager. And she gave me the torch. She gave me the courage to write, as well as I extended my study with Mother Tanetta. I was very blessed to work with her an extensive period, being her personal assistant as she was writing her Quranic stories
mm.
for about 10 years. So these are great women Muslim women who gave me the permission to be my authentic self. I also went to school for theater, and I studied under great theater directors here in Chicago. But this particular production, Bronzeville, is a story about Black history in Chicago. And we have been blessed with an opportunity to take the show to New York. This play has been under revision since maybe I was in my early 20s. So it was one of the first musicals that I was blessed to write.
Come
So
on.
from 2024 at 22, it has been going and taking a life of its own. So now 20, what is this, 2024?
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have now entered into a space where people are ready to receive it because we're ready. What I learned, Brother Joshua, is that your thing, whatever your goal or gift is, it doesn't launch until you within launches. Nothing happens or leap until you're ready to take that leap. So that is what this project, we finally took the project and allowed professional arms to look at it, to help revise it, to help make it a musical.
Mm.
So we will be embracing the historic Apollo Theater November 15th, 16th, and 17th in Harlem.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All praises to Allah. And we are all going to support. Now, Sister Margaret, can we get tickets? People who are, everybody who's in Harlem, can they still get tickets? Or like, how do we get tickets?
Yes, sir. The tickets will go on sale in the coming weeks, and there will be Ticketmaster. But the community and the believers who are in Harlem, I'm sure they're able to purchase tickets at the box office at the Apollo Theater. But tickets go live in the coming weeks.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. Now, Sister Margaret, we have so many questions for you, but I want to say right there with, I saw something you were doing with t-shirts. And how can we get the t-shirts? Everybody who's not going to Harlem who want to get the t-shirts, how can we order those shirts for you, man?
Go on Margaret Mahdi page, and if you see me with a t-shirt, inbox me, and I will be honored to send a Bronzeville the musical shirt as a paraphernalia, so they're able to purchase that way. They could just inbox me on Facebook, or they could follow us on Instagram, Bronzeville the musical, IG Bronzeville the musical.
Everybody, let's get on top of that right now. Margaret Mahdi on Facebook and Bronzeville the musical on Instagram. My sister Miriam says she's so proud. May Allah continue to bless you with success. ASA
Thank
family,
you.
Legging Salam. People are clapping and fire emojis, all that good stuff. Can't wait to upload to YouTube. All right, but okay, now Sister Margaret, let us give us some behind the scenes. What are you looking for as a director when you are looking in a casting director, when people come and audition for you? It's people all around the world, no Muslim that I've known, that I've seen, is doing what you are doing. So this is inspiring the world. So people are going to see this and be like, I want to go to Apollo. I want to work with an MGT. Look at this is a nation baby who grew up and is doing this. And now when they come before you, what should they be prepared to do? What are you looking to see? How are you? Can it be a triple threat? Can it be a dual threat? One threat? Like, let us know what you're looking for.
That's an excellent question, Brother Joshua. And we're so grateful to our teacher, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is an artist himself, who wrote plays, who was an actor. He's a musician, prolific musician. And he too gave us permission to be our authentic selves, to be artists as Muslims. And with that, he gave us a heart, character. He showed us how to behave, how to be a servant to our community and for our people.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
as a director now at this age, I look at heart, I look at character, I look at the intentions on why you want to join a thriving performing arts group. A lot of us are talented, but it really goes back to the spirit of the person and the heart of a person. And we have been very blessed to have a beautiful cast as well as team of people who work in the spirit of heart. It's like a teamwork of hearts. They have ethics, they have character, they respect the theater norms, and they want to do better. And naturally, in this environment where everybody is artistic and creative, in our community as Black people, we tend to ooze out the traumas and sometimes the dysfunction and insecurities. And a lot of times that kind of camouflages, or people use the art to camouflage the pain, but we work through it. So because no one is perfect, but we do look at spirit, we look at heart, we look at intentions, and then the talent. But yes, we do like triple threats because it's a musical. So if you can sing, you dance and act, and you are free in your artistry, you best join. It's a beautiful collective. So we encourage that. In fact, today we had auditions. We had auditions for the show.
Yes, ma'am. All praise to Allah. Listen, this is a legend in front of you all, and I want to just say that the People's Podcast has documented history going back all the way to Master Muhammad's secretary. These people, people come on and say, this was my mother, this was my aunt, all of these years. So when it comes to the art, I'm telling you all, do your research. Margaret Mahdi, Sister Margaret Mahdi is one of one. This is very rare that you see someone start off in Muhammad University of Islam, take her talent, and now she's at the Apollo. We salute you, Sister Margaret. We acknowledge your greatness and all of the hard work, especially as someone who is a playwright and myself. With my family, we in Atlanta doing musicals. We know how hard it is to put it on. Much less take it on the road. Go ahead.
Wow.
To the Apollo Theater. We salute you.
Wow.
And we just want you to know that you feel the love from around the world. And we want it documented on the People's Podcast. This is some of the talent that she's showing us. She got so much more, but this is some of the talent that she shared with us. And we thank Allah for you. And then with that segue, we thank Allah for your parents. So we'll start with Diane, and then we'll come to Brother Benny Mahdi, of course. Can you share your favorite memory of Sister Diane with you?
My mother, my mom is a quiet spirit, and she's very humble, and she's like, that's your stuff, what you do. But what I appreciate most about my mom is that she always gave us, my brothers and me, the roadmap to being right, reminding us of what a Muslim is, reminding us that is in the forefront, keeping us reminded of reading our Quran, like being a mom, but a spiritual mom.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I recall that throughout my growing up, like she would always say, never lose sight of God. No
Mm,
matter what you do, is always God. So we thank Allah for that, because that stems from the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I just appreciate my mother's patience in what I do. So I don't know. Is it says the internet? Okay. Um, Mom is a quiet spirit, and I appreciate her soul.
mm. Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. All right. And welcome salam, Sister Naima. Thank you, everyone who's watching. Okay, Sister Margaret, now we want to speak about the great Benny Mahdi, brother Benny Mahdi, and all of his. We just salute him and salute you all. But we get to see some of the serious side of brother Benny, some of the, you know. But when we saw him with dealing with his Margaret, his, affection, the way he dealt with you, it was always with love and patience. Can you let
Sure.
us know your favorite story dealing with your father?
I laugh because, oh God, he was a walking story. He was just a walking story. Unlike my mom, who's a quiet spirit, she's a quiet storm, um, just anchored in what is right, as well as my father. But my dad was just very straightforward, no nonsense, heart man, full of
Mm,
heart.
mm.
And I appreciate his strength, and I appreciate his just being real. So there are
Yes,
a
ma'am.
lot of stories, but I'm just grateful just for his whole walking book. He being who he is and being honest does require vulnerability. And what you saw is what you got. So
Mm,
I do appreciate that, his story, his truth, unapologetically. And no matter who is in the room, who you may be around, he was himself. And I would say I take that away from my father as an artist, because a lot of times we're trying to fit in because we're suffering with a lot, like I said, these dysfunctional issues due to post-traumatic slavery, the way families have been shaped, and we have these issues. But one thing about my dad, regardless of his issues or his truths, his sins or his glows, he still walked in his truth. And I think that's empowering when a
yes,
person
ma'am.
can do that, without any apology.
All praise due to Allah. That is perfect. Yes, ma'am. And thank you all, everyone who is showing love. Alaikum salam. Thank you all very much. Well, speaking of that, we recently posted a picture of your children on Facebook. How to see you as a mother? How does that make you feel working with your children in your productions? How is that?
It is a wonderful blessing. I thank Allah for them, because we have to be reminded as parents that our children belong to Allah. They're loaned to us. So it keeps us humble and reminded that our duty is to be examples and to lead them on the best direction that we can. But thank Allah for a teacher who leads all of us. So I'm grateful that my children are learning in the craft of art, as well as they have their own pursuits, but
Mm,
they're very obedient, they're smart, they're loving, and they're supportive of what I do. And they were also supportive caregivers. They helped me care for their grandfather, they helped their uncles, and they did it without complaint. So
mm.
I'm very grateful that Allah shaped them and gave them the heart that He gave them. And my son, his name is Fard. He's 15. And my daughter is Fajr. She's 14. And they're responsible teenagers. And they're doing what teenagers do. But I appreciate their love.
Beautiful. All praises due to Allah. Excellent. Shout out to your family. Sister Naima says all praises to Allah. That's beautiful, and people are bear witness, and can't wait to upload it to YouTube. I wanted to ask you about Mother Tanetta and your work with her.
Yes.
Many people who weren't close to her have a view, but as someone who worked with her in the art and culture, what was she like? Primarily dealing with theater and plays. Like, what was her thoughts on arts and culture?
Well, thank Allah that Mother Tanetta, as the wife of the exalted Christ, she exemplified excellence, moral behavior, and righteousness. And
Mm.
she gave us, men and women, the permission to be righteous artists. She nursed from the Holy Quran, and the Holy Quran was her guiding light to create and to produce her stories. A lot of the times, the stories that she produced were stories from the Holy Quran.
Mm.
So studying Mother Tanetta has been, I was blessed to work with her like 25 in my 20s. And again, just being a sponge. But she was obedient. And sometimes she would tell us that her husband is guiding her. So
Mm.
one of my takeaways would be follow the light. If Allah gives you a mission, a directive within your soul, that is for us to obey it and to follow it. Don't question it. Don't second guess it. Oh, me, find yourself worthy.
Yes,
Find
ma'am.
yourself someone that Allah has assigned and value that relationship. And I've seen Mother Tanetta work in some very demanding situations as she was producing and creating her art, but she pressed forward because of her faith. So I'm just very blessed to have taken away, as many of us have been blessed to work with her, take away those attributes. She was strong, she was disciplined, and she was obedient. And this is why I humbly can say she was selected by Allah personally to serve in the capacity that she served.
Excellent. Go ahead, teach Sister Margaret, and thank you everyone who's watching. We can't wait to upload this, and we have a brief 60-second commercial break for all of the sponsors of the People's Podcast, and we're coming back to Sister Margaret. Please let us know which city you all are watching from. We're grateful for every like, share, and subscription. Thank you to every anonymous Cash App to the People's Podcast, and we're coming right back to Sister Margaret Mahdi. Thank you everyone who was watching, and people are showing you love, Margaret, all around the world. All praise due to Allah.
All praise is due to Allah.
And we are live with the People's Podcast. Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out if you need any of that. Sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ. My two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Perfect. All right, now, Sister Margaret, I wanted to ask you, recently we saw this past weekend, a lot of sisters were getting awards, but for some reason, when you got yours, everybody stopped and everybody was in awe, Sister Margaret, for receiving such an award, and we second that, motion for you to, get such an accomplished award. Can you let us know what took place?
Yes, sir. It was that was just Allah's night with his women. We thank Sister Carmen Muhammad, who is the leader of the Women Working Network, and she and her team selected distinguished Muslim women from around the world who she and her team felt were deserving of Lifetime Achievement Awards, to be amongst other women who are obedient, striving, faithful, overcoming obstacles in faith it was an honor. And it would be a night and a moment that I would cherish for the rest of my life. It was very emotional, actually. So it was a special night, a night of celebration. And I was gifted with the award of Lifetime Achievement in Theater Performing Arts.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. That's Margaret, a trailblazer for sure. I wanted to ask you, ma'am, about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's advice to you and encouraging words to help you keep going. Because before, when I was growing up, of course, we had Sister Winifred, my moms and everybody part of you all part of those. But outside of Sister Winifred, I didn't see people in the nation or Muslims doing art and stuff. That's not something we've seen. So I know you've had to face challenges to push, carry the torch, and now it's worldwide and everybody can see it. But what are some of the things that the minister said to you to help keep you going so that you could open the door for many of us?
Yes, sir. That's an excellent question, Brother Joshua. As he said to all of us, hold on to the rope of Allah, find your purpose, execute your purpose, and walk in it.
Mm.
Help him. That's our job, be it in the field of art and entertainment, engineering. Our job is to bring forth and usher forth a new world order. Now those of us who are in art like yourself, that is a playwright, we're not going to see ourselves on the stage in American standard or culture. We're not going to see ourselves on the films. We have to take ownership, radical courage to create our own stories and to
Yes,
provide
ma'am.
opportunities for our people. If you see BET, like if I'm in the gym and I see a glimpse of whatever is on the television, all of the stories are the same. We're not taking anything away from Brother Tyler Perry. I admire him. Brother Tyler, if you're watching the show, we need a beautiful endorsement of what we do, myself and Brother Joshua. But
Absolutely.
you know, he's gifted. We're not going to take anything away from him, but we also understand the hands behind his art. He does not have full control if you're on that media platform. So we have to change the narrative. The minister said it in Torchlight for America. The people will follow. We just have to hold on to our faith, and we have to be radically courageous to write. The minister says a cultural revolution is taking course. We're leading that. We can't wait for him to do it. We
Yes,
cannot
ma'am.
wait for the council members to do it. We have to stand guard to do it. How many stories in your family? I'm sure you could go into and create a film about your grandmother,
That's
about
right.
your mother,
That's
and it
right.
will serve as inspiration. So we can never stop writing or creating. So again, just to repeat, I would say one of the nuggets, sacred divine nuggets that the minister has given to us as artists is to find your purpose, to create and usher forth a cultural revolution in the
Mm.
art. It's up to us to do.
Beautiful. Yes, ma'am. That's the Margaret for people who are watching. And do they message you on Facebook if they're in another city and they
Yes.
have and they want to come and say, I want to audition, I want to be a part? What do they do? Just message you on Facebook?
Yes, sir. They can inbox us on Facebook. I have a Mahdi Theater Company Facebook page, or they
Hmm.
can also message us on Instagram, Mahdi Theater Company or Bronzeville the Musical. So we have access, and I will be more than happy to leave my email address if people have questions on how they can get involved. And if people would like to support us by sponsoring or just helping us build, because as you said, Brother Joshua, it requires a lot of work.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
really does.
Absolutely. And is there a cash app that you want to give, or how, like, what's the way that we support?
Yes, sir. Well, if people would like to support, my Cash App is Margaret Mahdi, MargaretMahdi. And we also have a Zelle, Mahdi Theater, no, Mahdi Theater at Yahoo.
Let's make sure we all go out and support our sister Margaret Mahdi. And thank you everyone who's watching. I also want to say in 2017, you gave us the distinct honor of drilling in one of your productions at Savior's Day, which was incredible. It meant a lot to us, and I just want to thank you for that. Man, the whole experience to see you incorporate all of the different in one production, that that's magnificent, Sister Margaret. And I don't think that if you're not a creative, I don't think people fully understand what it takes to get that done and to have how do you balance? You got all these different cultures in one production. I mean, you got the singers, the dance, the artists, the drill team. How are you able to balance putting that together?
That's an excellent question. You know, it requires a lot of discipline. And also, I would like to say vision. When Allah give you the vision, because it's Him who gives it to us. And it goes back to just listening to that light, listening to the voice, following the directive, because that's God speaking to us. So Allah has shaped this musical to include everyone from our culture, from gospel music to jazz, R&B, to our Nation of Islam drill team. And mind you, the script is original as well as the musical score.
Go
This is
ahead,
an
Margaret.
original score. And I guess I'm a songwriter, so we don't. Look, what did the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said? He said, "Study the white man.
That's
He
right.
makes no
Excuses for his
excuses
failures. That's right.
for his failures."
That's right.
We study how these white people write these musicals with Broadway shows, and we said, "Look, we got our own system, our soul." Let's take their structure and apply it to our own, but let's make it original. Because Joshua, I'm sure you can bear witness. We have the same musicals in our culture. The Wiz, which is great, Ain't Misbehaving, Dream Girls, Color
Yeah.
Purple. We need more. I mean, aren't we should be taking over? And I won't sit up here and say I'm seeking Broadway to give us the validation. We just because we are God's people. It only makes sense.
Go ahead and teach, Sister Margaret. Go ahead and teach. Beautiful. All praises due to Allah. Thank you, everyone who's watching. Once again, the dates of the production, and let's make sure everybody head to New York. Everybody head to the Apollo Theater. Yes, ma'am. With you, Sister Margaret.
Thank you, Brother Joshua. We will be in New York, inshallah, November 15th, 16th, and 17th. The tickets go on sale this month in September, and people are able to purchase tickets online, Ticketmaster. And we would love the voice, the support from our New York Mas, the study groups, Brooklyn, Harlem, that entire region. So we will continue to spread the word via social media.
Beautiful. Anything that myself, my family, and the viewing audience of People's Podcast can do, please let us know. Sister Margaret, if you have any cast members, if you all want to come back before then, anybody want to sing, anybody want to dance, anybody want to come, other than the other actors who want to talk about their specific roles in the production, People's Podcast is home for you. We want to promote this.
Thank
We want to make
you.
sure that it's packed. And man, y'all sell out the Apollo Theater. This is one of our
All
own.
praises due to Allah. Thank you. And Brother Joshua, as I said, we would love for the People Podcast to do the grand entry of
Yes,
interviewing people from the community. Because the last play that was at the Apollo was 2012. It was Dreamgirls. And the Apollo was about to go under renovation. And we would be perhaps the last musical Black production at the theater, and we will be connecting with all of the great spirit and soul of the Stevie Wonders and all of those wonderful legendary artists. So it would just be a history for not just Mahdi Theater Company and Margaret, but our community. This is not just for me, this is for you, this is for everybody involved. And as I said at the award ceremony at Sister Carmen's event, I'm a product of this. We could not be where we are if it was not for the teachers of Muhammad University of Islam, our parents, those Muslim women in class, and the FOI. So we represent a community, we represent a nation. So it's our duty to support each other, and it's our duty to represent each other. So prayerfully, we are representing each other with the great respect and the character that the minister has taught us. So it's a family affair. We want to make this like a major convention.
yes, ma'am. Beautiful. It will be my honor. And thank you everyone who's showing love and bearing witness saying, go, Sister Margaret, go. Um, and on that positive note, once again, Sister Margaret, we thank Allah for you, your family, your parents' sacrifices, your sacrifices, now your children, of course, your brothers, nieces, and nephews, everyone. Shout out to your whole family. We are honored and we salute you all and respect you all very highly. And everybody, November 15th, 16th, and 17th, Bronzeville. Man, we taking over Harlem. Y'all know what time it is. I already know what it is. This is on that positive note. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off of the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Thank you all for watching. Can't wait to upload this to YouTube.